Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Hello. Welcome to MangaPod. We're a weekly podcast in which we all get together as we read all or part of a manga and we discuss those friendship, love, and lots of spoilers. This week we are talking Chihayafuru chapters 1 through 23. I am Erin. I'm Happily Erin, your host, and with me are some other lovely people. And I'll have you guys go around and introduce yourselves, please.
Hello, everybody. I'm Dodger. And that's it.
There she is.
There I am.
There she be.
Hello, I'm Moeka of
There she is.
Mega Moeka. Hello.
There she is. There she is.
There
And
she
missing tonight is our lovely Lou. So if usually in the one box there, he is not here, but he is also lovely. There he isn't. Is that what you did? Took a while. It took a second for that one to go in my brain.
It's okay. It's okay. It happened.
If you guys have joined us for a MangaPod before, what we like to do is give you a short spoiler-free description of the manga that we read, as well as hold on.
What?
Description that we read, aka summary. Getting there. Followed by our spoiler-free recommendations, whether we think you should spend time going to read this manga or not. That way, if it sounds like something you are interested in, you can take your leave once we get to spoiler section. We ask that nobody post any spoilers in the chat until we get to spoiler section, and then once we're in spoiler section, please don't post anything past chapter 23, which is where we ended on. We don't like spoilers. Spoilers are rude. Spoilers are mean. Please don't do them. So, I'm going to... I have all these tabs open.
Just a million manga tabs.
A million manga tabs. I gotta find this one. All right.
Not for any reason, chat. We weren't doing anything that needed to have a bunch of manga tabs open.
No. It's all...
Anyways.
Chihayafuru. Chihayase, a strong-willed and tomboyish girl, grows up under the shadow of her older sister with no dreams of her own. She is contented. That's how it's spelled on there. I'm just gonna leave it with her share in life until she meets Arato Wataya. The quiet transfer student in her elementary school introduces her to competitive karuta, a physically and mentally demanding card game inspired by classic Japanese anthology of 100 poets. Captivated by Arata's passion for the game and inspired by the possibility of becoming the best in Japan, Chihaya quickly falls in love with the world of karuta. Along with the prodigy Arata and her haughty but hard-working friend Taichi, she joins the local Shinonami Society. The trio spend their idyllic childhood days playing together until circumstances split them up. Now in high school, Chihaya has grown into a karuta freak. She aims to establish the Municipal Mizusawa High Competitive Karuta Club, setting her sights on the national championship. Reunited with the now indifferent Taichi, Chia's dream of establishing a karate team is only one step away from becoming true. She must bring together members with a passion for the game that matches her own. AKA every sports series. And this is a sports manga.
100%.
So you guys...
It has all the signs.
Yeah. You can look at it and be like, oh, it's about a card game. No, it's about a card game.
You don't get it.
Sports card game. So, let's go ahead and do spoiler-free recommendations. Should we shout out Lou's first? It's a very succinct one. Lou's that he recommends it and that it makes him want to go watch the anime.
Mm-hmm. Word for word. Yeah. I echo those feelings. I really, really enjoyed it. I knew that it must be good because when we had talked to ProZD before, he was like, my favorite anime of all time is Chihayafuru. And he was horrified that we hadn't read it or watched it. So I knew that it was going to be good. It was very charming in ways that I wasn't necessarily expecting. Mm-hmm. And much like other times that we've read sports manga where it's like, okay, I'm probably going to like the characters, but I'm not really going to give a shit about what they're doing. I'm now very interested in Karuta. And I want to actually see it be played. Yeah, definitely recommend it. It's very good.
Yeah. Moeka?
I watched the anime ahead, like I watched this last year, I think is when I first yeah, I think it was last year or the year before. But basically, yeah, I just really like I don't know. It's hard to describe like what's so endearing about it because describing the card game itself is really like it's hard. So it's
Yeah.
the characters are great. They like there was one character in there that I'm just like I was not expecting to like see myself in her like in any way, but somehow she was just really endearing and I was just like, "Oh, I love her. I want to protect her." So if you like sports, I definitely recommend this. Like, I don't know, it's so endearing.
Mm.
Darn you
Yeah.
sports.
I know. Darn you, sports manga.
Why do you make me love again?
Best genre of manga and anime
Mhm.
sports.
Yeah. What about you, Aaron?
I really enjoyed it. I had that same feeling I always get with sports manga where you're just drawn in by the characters and then you're drawn in by their passion and it makes you feel passion for what they're passionate about. Even if
Yeah.
I still right now don't 75% understand the game. I
Yeah.
really want to watch it, like Dodger said, watch it be played, or like, so I want to watch the anime for it because I want to see visually how it works. But yeah, the characters are great. The art is shoujo, but that doesn't mean it's lacking in any way when it comes to the sports aspects. I think it's just, like it nails everything it sets out to do. And so it's a very lovely combination of shoujo and sports anime that is very rare. Very, very, very rare. And so I think it's one that people might discount as not being sports just from first glance. And so I think definitely take people's recommendations when they recommend it as a sports anime. Because when you're scrolling through like Crunchyroll and they have all of the sports anime listed in the sports section, Chihayafuru is always there. And I know before I was like, I don't understand why it's there. I don't get it. But I'd always heard it was absolutely amazing. And so, yeah, I definitely recommend it. I think it's one that people who like shoujo would enjoy, people who like sports anime and manga would enjoy. I just think one that is very dimensional. So 100% check it out.
To go along with that, I want to add that Chihayafuru, the target demographic for it is older adult women. So
Interesting.
Oh, is
that's
it
probably-
Josei?
yeah,
That's us.
probably why you get that like shoujo vibe with the sports, and everything feels like slightly more mature, even though they're like high schoolers.
Mm.
Because it's like a part of I think it's called Kodansha BL, which
Yeah.
is not for boys love.
Interesting.
Not for boys love.
Odd.
That's like their you would think it's boys love, but it's not.
It's like their Josei.
Yeah.
section. Okay.
I see.
Cool. I did not know that. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense with it. Ooh,
Mhm.
camera flashes.
Yeah, I'm
Oh
seeing that
boy.
too. Ooh,
Our favorite.
love it.
Makes
Very
us all look
cute.
great.
I want to say that. Sorry.
No,
Back
you're
to the BL thing. I want to say that it's B love. I think that's what the BL stands for.
Oh, okay.
But it's something around there.
Oh, Be Love. Yeah. Serialized in the magazine Be Love.
Okay.
And
there
it
we
does
go.
have 3 seasons of an anime. I think
I bet they're regretting that now.
Huh?
I bet that now that BL has become like a huge thing, they're like, should have done something else.
They're
You should have done something else.
They just keep getting constant like Yelp reviews being like, this isn't boys love.
What the heck?
Where's
is
the
this?
yaoi?
Heteros in my BL manga?
But yeah, you are right. It right now currently the 3rd season is airing.
Just started, right?
Mm-hmm.
I need to check it out. Is it 20?
I think it's
12 episode seasons.
No, so each season is about 25 episodes each. So I would not be surprised if the
Okay.
3rd one is 24 or 25.
Okay. Duger, your camera, is it only happening on my screen?
I don't know.
Where
My
it's
camera
going-
looks very framey on my end,
You're
but
look at the stream.
You
that-
guys look fine.
Oh,
but
oh,
Is that
cute.
only is that my graphics card going
Hold
out?
on. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh.
Oh no, it's worse for me now.
Oh no, you're perfect for me.
Oh no.
Okay. Let me know if it gets squirrely. We'll sort it out. It's okay.
Figure it out. All right. Let's jump into someone in chat. That was interesting.
Only
It
the
took
best
me a
for
second.
you guys.
I was like, what is happening? Something's wrong. It didn't like get in my brain at first. I was looking and I was like, something is wrong with what I'm looking at between your guys' cameras. And I couldn't figure it out. All right. Let's jump to spoiler section. Get out of here if you don't want to be
5,
spoiled.
Yeah.
4,
Done.
3, 2, 1.
Kotaku's God. The game is God.
The game is God.
The game is God.
Basketball is life. The game is God.
I will say, excuse me.
Tell me more.
I kind of want to go find the card set now.
I know.
Yeah.
Don't same.
It's not like we could read it though.
That's
To be
true.
That is-
We
That's
can't
very
see what it's
true.
like to have there be, like 2 parts of one poem on 2 cards.
They have it on Amazon.
In Anglais or in Japanese?
Japanese.
Okay. Well, minor problems for us.
Listen,
But we
I
would
have,
know what it feels like to
I
hold
have
them.
Google Translate on my
True.
phone.
That's
just
true.
Swipe.
In a
screen
game
grab,
of speed.
screen grabs.
It'll really help you out.
Hmm. Wow. I like that the card set that I'm looking at comes with the cards and the CD. Very important.
Oh, nice. So you
Oh.
can listen to it
Mhm.
and see if you've got the skill, the innate ability.
There is an English translated one. Hang on.
It's our time
Dodger,
to
what were
shine.
you gonna say? Why I like this?
Oh, I was gonna say this is probably something I should have said during the spoiler-free section, but I feel like this was kind of a softer March Comes in Like a Lion. In some
Yeah.
ways, where it's like, yes, it's about the game and you learn a lot about the game, but it's more about like the interpersonal relationships. And March Comes in Like a Lion can get super real sometimes. I feel like this one does touch on that, but it's just a lot softer in how it does it. So if you like March Comes in Like a Lion, you'd probably like Chihayafuru. But I do feel like
That's a good
Chihayafuru
comparison.
in general is very accessible.
Oh my gosh.
Guys, what if,
Yeah.
hear me out, what if we made our own deck, but instead it was like stupid English idioms?
I'm in.
And then we were like, this is an ancient Japanese game.
Oh my God. Okay, one, I think people would call us out on our bullshit and be like,
Please
Our
listen.
cultural
Please listen
appropriation.
now to the CD. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Can you grab the correct card?
That was almost like a very nice almost rhyme. Very
Yeah.
pleasant. See, that's what.
Twinkle, little star.
See,
Yes, go on.
It's such a Sorry, we can do our expectations in a second. I just want to
Look,
get
this
this
is
out
fine.
before
This is our show. We can do what we want.
before I forget, because that's bound to happen. Fuck. Okay, so this is a very difficult. If you have no familiarity with this game, it is very hard to follow at the start. And it's also very props to the translators, because it's a very difficult thing to translate too, but it because it's so reliant on the syllables and things like that,
Yeah.
which isn't something I'm used to in any sort of a game, especially not a card game. And so trying to decipher exactly what they were doing. This was a manga that I because in sports anime and manga, you always get the character who is like just starting out. That way they have like somebody there that they can use as a talking point to like describe everything for, and it doesn't feel
their
weird.
growth is what we follow, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or there's like audience people that are constantly narrating so that the audience and so this was one where I was like particularly happy that they had that, where people were coming in and hadn't played the game before, because I was just like, I'm so far out of the loop on this game. Like, it's hard for me because the whole arranging the decks in different ways and things like that. It's been fun as it's gone on to learn about it, but it was definitely a game that I was not familiar with at all in any sort of way. So it took me a little bit getting adjusted to it.
Same. I feel like I was able to kind of figure out what the game was, but yeah, it's just the whole point that gets made really early on of if you're the best at this game in Japan, you're basically the best at this game in the world, because they don't play it anywhere else in the world. It's like a specifically like Japanese game. I think that rings really true for a foreigner reading it, right? Like all of us reading it, we're like, yeah, you would be, because I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what's even going on here.
Before.
Yeah, and I liked that they introduced, I know that this is jumping way ahead, but I liked that they introduced a character who was like, these are based on a thing. There's more here than just like it being a poem. Like there's history and like all of this stuff. Because I think that does help. Sorry, I'll be right back.
Okay.
You're right. Yeah, so I agree with that, because it's just so, as a foreigner getting into the game, I have no idea the context, the history, or anything like that. So it was nice to have somebody come in and describe that, which was very pleasant. And I loved Kanya.
I know. That's what I was talking about earlier. I was just like, I love her.
So sweet. And I think something too that's nice about Chihayafuru is how it has such engaging characters. And so even if you get lost in like the rules of the game and understanding what's going on, you're still following these characters and their story, their passion, and that's what makes you so engaged in it. So you could be you're watching them flip cards and throw cards and stuff like that. And at the beginning, you're just kind of like, I don't really know, but they're so excited. They're so into it. I want them to win. Yeah, so it just takes a little bit. I think that's something somebody going into this needs to be aware of too, is that it just takes a little bit to get into the flow of it, because you're so caught off guard at first, because if you aren't familiar with it, you don't understand what's going on. So it just is a little jarring as they just kind of go into it. But I think once you're experiencing it more, you slowly get more invested in it, because you're understanding or just realizing what's going on and what's at stake and who's doing what.
Yeah, I feel like this is like a part that the anime excels at, is like better explaining the game, or at least for myself, it was easier to understand because visually you're seeing what's happening. Well, in the manga, it's like everything is stills, so
yeah,
it's a little harder to like see the movement, because I know there are a few times that characters would explain like, oh, the hand movement when you're going for like the card, you don't want to like, one guy like described it like samurai swords, where it's like you don't want to like slice, you want to go in and then like, or it was like, yeah, you want to go in and then like
throw
it behind you.
Yeah. It reminded me of, I don't know, I had a bigger issue of this in Haikyuu. Absolutely love Haikyuu. No, this is not me hating on Haikyuu or anything. But my biggest issue with the Haikyuu manga, at least in the section that we read, because we only read the first like 40 chapters of it for MangaPod, The biggest issue I had of it was there was so much exposition and explanation about the rules and the sport and all of this that, like, I said when I was reading the manga because it came out, it was before the anime had aired. I was like, I am really excited for this anime because it's going to translate so much better watching it visually happen than having it written out and all these rules just like bang, 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 all these words and stuff. And so, that I got a little bit here, but not nearly as bad as I had it with Haikyuu. I just think with it that visually seeing the animation of it would help me get more comprehensive look at the rules, if that makes sense. So,
I agree.
How about we, since Dodger's coming back, do our question. Usually we start with the question, what were you expecting before reading the manga? What about, Moike, since you watched the anime first, and we kind of already touched on all of this, but do you have anything else you'd want to add about, like, your expectations going into it?
So I guess for me, I was expecting, so the anime is for the first season, at least, it's like 25 episodes. So I was expecting things to go a lot slower than what was happening in the manga. So I was just expecting things to maybe maybe more filler in the manga, if that makes any sense. And so I thought maybe like for the anime, they just took out stuff and that's why they had such a long amount of episodes. But I was I was not expecting like for the manga to be so fast paced.
Yeah. That is something I agree with too. Going into it, I didn't expect there to be it to happen so fast because we covered so much stuff in these first 23 chapters that it feels like we read like 5-6 volumes worth instead of just 4. Yeah, what about you, Dodger? Do you have any things you'd want to add on about expectations?
Just that I didn't. So I wasn't here when we read the description for it. I knew that it was like a sports manga about a card game, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, when the time skip happened, I was like, oh, they're not going to be kids the whole time. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, but that's where the drama is going to come from. 3 friends who decide they're going to be friends forever.
And then
not on Manga's watch. No way. It's just going to get all fucked up. So yeah, I liked the time skip. I don't know. Yeah, I was just surprised by I guess the exact same thing you guys said. I was surprised by the pace of it. It felt like, we like went through, we like established the team and all of that stuff so fast. But I still felt very attached to all the characters. So I guess it's not a bad thing necessarily. I still loved everybody and saw value and hope in all of them. So
yeah, I don't think even though it was so fast paced, I don't think it suffered in any way from that at all. Which sometimes in a manga that can happen. It can be like, oh, we got here real fast, but in this one it didn't seem to do it. I'm not sure why it is, if it's because like the characters are so endearing or that fascinating and connected to them. But yeah, I thought it was a positive, the speed with which the manga progressed. And I knew from like stills of the anime that they were going to be in high school for the majority of it. So I didn't expect the childhood to have so many chapters. Honestly, like I was expecting with how like most manga do the flashbacks is that we'd have one scene of them as children and then all of a sudden it'd flash to her in high school and then back would see it. She'd see something that made her remember a memory from when she was young and to go back and forth. So I am happy that we got to see those 3 connect because it felt more organic than, because sometimes just the flashbacks, it just feels really trite and you're just like bouncing back and forth. It's hard to get connected when you have jumping timelines like that. It just doesn't flow necessarily as well all the time. There's obviously exceptions to that. But I thought that it was really necessary to do it here. I really liked seeing the progression of the three, and then it made it more impactful when they get to high school. The time jump happens. They get to high school, and then we see like the back of Arata's head when he answers the phone. And I was like, it's him. So I thought that they handled the transition from childhood to high school, and it also helped make Chiharu's love for Karuta. Whoa, what's Karuto? Naruto? Long lost twin.
Yes, my favorite.
It made her love of Karuta feel more real, because we'd gone with the journey from her first discovering it all the way up to where she was now. Can I say how much it annoyed me that people were, and I know this is a cultural thing, but like when they were like, she's so pretty until she opens her mouth, I was like, get out of here.
Yeah, it's classic. It's classic.
Yeah, which
but I understand that that's
I was at first when they said that, like right after the time skip, I expected it to be like, she looks totally normal, but is loud and brash and all of those lovely things. I love that we smash cut to her with fucking like sports joggers on under her skirt, and everyone's like, what is this? And she's like,
what are you doing? I like that the teacher like got onto her about it and was just like, this is not what I was talking about when I told you to like wear this. Like, I told you either or, not both.
And then she starts taking off the gym pants, and the teacher's like, not in the hallway.
Which, yeah, I was gonna say the same. I was gonna bring that up as well, was just that, like, I thought, I don't know why, it's like so refreshing to see her just be the way she is, because there's so many, like, in anime, especially recently, I feel like a lot of the girl characters that are like, oh, she's so like attractive, and then like they hide it, like they hide behind like some like personality, and it's like, oh, she's like a dweeb with like all these like imperfections that she hides like whenever she's back home. And so it was kind of nice not to have her be like, oh, I'm a perfect student at school. And so I don't know, it made her more endearing to me, because it was just like, that's just who she is.
I agree. I much prefer the I don't really give a shit what you think of me vibe.
And like, it's like the most accurate use of the word tomboy to describe a character, like a lady character, because most of the time they'll be like tomboy, it's just like not the way, it's not used correctly. She's just
also athletic.
And it's just not how it is. And so like, she's such an accurate use of that term, and she's just fantastic. She just knows who she is, and she's like excited to have this dream, and though all these other people are gonna be like, that's really tacky, or that just doesn't make sense, like that's a stupid aspiration to have, she doesn't give a fuck. She's like, no, this is my dream. And I love when people are passionate about whatever the fuck they're passionate about, the fact that they are passionate about it and have huge dreams with it. I'm like, dude, you're inspiration. That's how I feel about you.
Yeah, especially because we got so much time with them as kids, and obviously like Chihaya was like a character that was liked and normal and whatever, and then we smash cut to her in middle school listening to a CD of the poems, and people are like, what are you listening to? I'm like,
oh, this isn't music.
And we kind of see like we sort of in snapshots almost see the progression of her, right? Of like, I'm, I don't really stand out at all as bad or good, but I also don't care about anything, right? And then in middle school, like, I really care about something, but it turns out the thing that I care about makes me a weirdo. And then in high school, just full on, like, I guess I'm a fucking weirdo then.
Yeah.
I really like that. Yeah.
What did you
characters-
guys?
Nice.
Oh,
Oh, sorry. Just to go like to kind of like talk about it's like it was really fun to see her be like quote unquote like stereotypical tomboy when she was a kid
mhm.
because
Yeah.
she had like the short hair, and so to see her
Yeah.
go from that to just like I mean she has longer hair, but she's still that tomboy that she was when
Same
she was
person,
a kid.
yeah.
What did you guys think about the family drama? Even though in most manga it'd be a lot more dramatic, but what do you guys
Right.
think about that added aspect of it?
So going into or like the beginning of the family drama or whatever, I was just like, oh, the parents are gonna be deeply invested in her older sister because she's like the one pursuing like a good career or whatever.
Right.
And so
Or like fame, which sometimes parents can get like over invested in, right?
yeah, which made
Yeah.
me worried because I was just like, oh, they're gonna like treat Chihaya really like poorly. But I was really like surprised when the dad was just like, yeah, I love, because this is where I was like, because he had said something like, oh, I love scrapbooking and like documenting the things that my daughters do. And so I was
Yeah.
just like, oh, he's just saying that to be nice to Chihaya. He like doesn't do anything for her. But then
Right.
towards the end, it was like he did actually like take newspaper clippings, and you kind of saw that the mom's in it on it is in on it too. And so
Yeah.
it's just like, oh, they do care about her. Like, sure, they are slightly more invested in the other in their other daughter, just because I mean what she's going after to pursue is, I mean, it's like it's a hard career to get into.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of investing that you need to do, like personally and like monetarily.
Yeah. And
Right.
it's also the like modeling and acting is such more of like a forefront career
Mhm.
too.
It's
Whereas
like an envied thing.
Yeah, and if you're like, say you're doing like a talent show, like most of the people that get into a talent show are like dancing, singing, doing stuff like that. Whereas like I can't ever be on a talent show because I can't sing, dance, or do anything, but I can write.
Right.
And so it's like, but nobody goes on stage and just sits there and types.
The way.
It's
You
really
should do that. You could do it first.
And so I like the fact that her goal is different, so different in terms of like the kind of goal that it is, but she's no less passionate about it than her sister is passionate about her thing. And I also love that Chiharu continues to be supportive of her older sister, even though there's like
Even though her
this
sister can be such a dick.
such a dick, and there's like
Yeah.
this clear parental bias about it. Like the whole like,
Yeah.
I did get really mad at the parents when she was like, "Hey, we're gonna go to national. We're Tokyo's representatives." Like just getting like talked over and all of
Yeah.
that, and then they weren't even gonna go. I was like, "Ugh, you make me so mad."
Yeah.
And then they did do the whole like scrapbook, and it had me all like, but
there's sorry, I swear that this is applicable. I was watching Queer Eye in Japan.
oh
And it's great, side note. But one of the episodes they touch on how there isn't really a culture in Japan of like telling the other person that you like, telling your kids that you love them, or telling your kids that you're proud of them, really.
yeah,
So I still like, even with the scrapbooking stuff, I still felt like, yeah, but she spent her entire childhood feeling like you didn't give a shit about anything that she did, you know, and like that does something to a person, right? Like it would have helped to have even like a little bit of like, go for it, bud. We believe in you, right?
Yeah.
do something.
I like for me, I just felt like maybe part of it was just that she didn't have like, because she only got her passion like at towards the end of elementary school or whatever.
Mhm.
So I figured that from the parent side, it was like, oh, it's like she's gonna go into middle school and she's gonna try like a bunch of different things. Who knows if she actually really likes this Karuta thing? Because I know she like
Right.
talked about how she did Karuta for a bit and went to like the training hall. I don't remember what exactly it's called. But then at some point she like felt lonely, so she decided to do like track and field, I think.
Yeah.
Something with running. And so then at that point I kind of figured that maybe the parents were like, "Oh, maybe she's not really into it and hasn't found like the thing she wants to pursue."
Yeah.
And so I'm expecting it now to be like, "Oh, she's in high school and she's still pursuing this thing. This is something she quite clearly does actually care about."
Yeah. What do you guys think about Taichi and Arata? Got the little trio.
Love, interest in the making.
Which one do you guys want to talk about first? Or both at the same time?
I was just gonna say that I love the dynamic of them, like the whole group.
Yeah, it's so easy when it's like a love triangle. But having it
or
be
an OT3, however you want to look at it.
There was somebody on Twitter that was like, "Listen, if you're gonna give me a love triangle, just make them all in a relationship. Make it polygamy. I don't care. It's the only way love triangles should end." I was like, I could feel that.
Yeah, I could get behind that.
I could get behind that. But yeah, it can fall so easily into the characters just being like generic. I think when they get put into, like, they'll be their own character and very descript, like, who they are, and then they get into this love triangle and suddenly the character is shifting to fit whatever trope they're supposed to be inside this love triangle. And so I like that at the start here it's the friendship, and it is such a strong friendship, like platonic connection, and that as the romance buds a little bit. We're seeing, obviously, Arata hasn't been in this section of reading. He, like, popped up in the last 2 chapters. So we've seen, like, maybe 3 or 4 chapters of grown-up high school him. And so we've gotten to see Taichi's, like, growing affection for her. But even that, it hasn't been all blushy, can't talk to you. I'm going to just act completely different to you. So it's a different kind.
To be fair, he's super tsundere.
Oh, he is super tsundere.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. But it hasn't been as boring. It's not super boring. For a love triangle in the making, it's not boring at all. I'm not done with it.
Yeah, I think what helps is that they're all very, like, active characters. Like, when they were younger, Arata was like, both Arata and Chihaya were kind of established as, like, we're sort of overly blunt people, right? Like, they just say what they're thinking, or they're just honest with the other person, right?
Yeah.
And then I liked that when we fast forwarded into high school, when she knew there was something wrong with Arata, she was like, I'm just going to go see him. You know, like, I think it doesn't get boring because everybody's constantly, like, pursuing something out of one another, you know? So I think that helps. Yeah. Instead of kind of laying back and being like, I just don't know about such and such.
Yeah. They all have their own personal goal and interest outside of each other.
Yeah. Yeah. Very helpful. Is it this ongoing?
I think so. I don't think it's
finished.
Hold on, I got the mal pulled up. Yes, it's still going.
Nice.
Started December 28th, 2007 to question mark.
Whoa.
Let's talk about the other little team members. We got Dekkun, and
yes,
Meepun.
Kana.
Kana, yeah.
Mhm.
Did you guys read the omake of one of the like random Chiharu's random friends says, if you could go on a date with anyone from the club, who would you go with? Did you guys read that? What
No,
are the,
I
like,
like
4 things?
skimmed all of the omakes. I don't know why.
So, one of the friend goes, who would you go out on a date with? And she just goes, Kana. And the girl's like, no. She goes, no. And then the next like 4 panel is, no, I meant a boy. If you could go out on a date with a boy, who would you pick? And Chiharu goes, Sensei, meaning the
The sensei goof was so funny to me every time. Like, well, I give chocolates to sensei, but he always says he can't take them because he's married. And you can tell she earnestly is just like, I just wanted to get him chocolates because I think he's such a cool guy. And everyone's like, Chihaya.
Stop.
So good.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, so we have they are growing as well within the little team.
Right. It's nice. It's always nice to have like a few people, and they're all very different, right? It's always nice to have a few people that are all newer, along with, yeah. Also, Meat Buns. I was very surprised that he came back.
I know.
That he was like in their childhood, and then they were like, "Oh, look! Conveniently, that guy is at our school.
Yeah."
He should join our club." I was like, "Well, that was painless." That was one of the moments that felt like it went so fast to me. It was them going, "Oh, Meat Buns is here," and then we've tackled him and forced him to be in our club, and then the next frame is he's in the club now. It's like, okay,
there it is.
I guess
like,
that's easy enough.
We needed to get to the tournament. They needed to get to matches.
Right.
What was your guys' favorite match? The one you found most interesting?
I don't know. What was yours?
Most interesting.
I don't know. I was hoping someone else would answer, and then I could think of mine.
I guess we'll all just think of ours then.
See, this is why we need Lou.
I was gonna say the one where they become the Tokyo representatives was definitely, I mean, the main focused one.
Right.
That was the biggest one because we ended in a place in the middle of we're trying to figure out because they're at the national championship. I think is the one we ended on. So they're trying to learn who is going to be national championship, and she passed out and all that stuff. And so the only real full match that we got that wasn't practice was the one where they became the Tokyo representatives. And so I think that one had to be the one with the most importance so far.
Yeah, for sure.
And then we even got the, like, you don't die in a sports anime, you graduate. And so we got the, like, little graduation trope even with the guy that she beat.
Yeah.
But so that was probably the one that stood out
It's a
most.
classic.
Yeah.
This is my last chance. I'm graduating. Everybody goes,
Senpai.
What do you mean?
Senpai. What I actually think about it, what I really enjoyed about that match is not necessarily what happened during it, but the after effect of Chihaya realizing, like, bringing on the pressure of, I have to be the Tokyo representative and carry the weight of all these people that I beat on my back and show the world what Tokyo is capable of. Like, that psychological effect that she got and how it impacted her and how it made sense with the character, with who she is. The way it impacted her made sense. So I thought that glancing into that inner turmoil was a really fascinating way to take it. I really liked that.
I like just in general the way that they kind of show and work through Chihaya's flaws as a player. It feels very believable to me, right? I think that one of the things that a lot of sports manga always winds up doing is like there will be a person who has like an ability in the game that just feels so out of control. Just like, really? But I like that all of the strengths and all of the weaknesses feel very realistic, and the way that they work through them and acknowledge them also feels very realistic. I appreciate that. Well, it still feels very interesting to read.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel like
How
I
do you
can't
guys
really
feel about the art?
Love it.
Yeah, it gives me the shoujo vibe that I really like. But it's like done more. I mean, everything's just more mature, even though they're like high schoolers. So it's like, I don't know, it's like a nice contrast.
Yeah. I like it feels very clean. Even when there's like flowers and bubbles and all of that, it still feels very clean. And I love the fact that we're seeing a shoujo-esque and like manga with sports in it. Just the combination alone makes the art more exciting, and I'm more appreciative of it. Just because it's doing something so unique. And especially the fact that it is still that clean and pleasant while they're playing the game, and all the hand action is happening, and there's never anything that looks really, really wonky. Perspective wise, like everything always feels like it's the shape it's supposed to be, and they're in the place that makes sense. Their arms not like twisty. So I think the mangaka has a really good, solid handle on how to draw bodies and how to make them stand off the page and like the movement happen and stuff. So, I really appreciated the art. I thought it was really pretty, and it made me feel satisfied, like Moeka said, with my shoujo needs.
I normally don't really like the shoujo aesthetic very much, and I still really liked it too. So I think that it like bridged the gap really well. It was still like really pleasing without being the like overly bubble looking sort of thing.
Okay. Let's see. Do you guys have anything else you want to touch on? I don't think I do.
I can think of.
I don't think so. Cool.
Yeah, not that I can think of really.
Let's go ahead and do final thoughts and ratings. Ooh,
I think I would
spooky.
I would probably give it like an 8.5, I think. I enjoy it. I can't help but feel like if I were to be watching it, I would get more out of it with so many references to like sounds and the like movement of the game. It did make me consistently think to myself, I wonder what this is like in the anime. But I still really enjoyed it, and I like the characters a lot, and I 100% want to read more or watch more or whatever. So yeah, I would give it an 8.5, I think.
That's what I was going to give it too, as an 8.5. Like, I really loved the characters. I loved the passion. It did what sports manga do well. It did it exceptionally well. It was great. I really want to read more, and I really want to watch the anime. But I think it's a well-written story. So far, the characters are just wonderful, and their relationships, everyone feels like their own character, not that they're relying on other people to exist, their reason to exist.
Right.
And I'm very looking forward to more Arata. I want to see what's going on with him. So I really loved it. Thought all of it was great. 8.5 to a 9, I think is where I'm going.
I think I'm in the same vein. I'm gonna give it an 8.5 as well. I think my favorite thing about it is just the characters themselves and how, I mean, everything's just I think that like connection between the characters is just well done in general.
Mm-hmm.
And so actually kind of to touch on like going back to the characters, I thought it was really cool seeing Taichi, like how he's like this handsome like high schooler who has everything going for him, but then you got a glimpse into his family life and how his family's really hardcore into like you have to be the
You have to
best
be the
at
best.
everything you do or
Mhm.
you're worthless almost. And so
Yeah.
like and also it's like interesting getting to see him like have to deal with that as a kid.
Yeah.
And then as an like not an adult but as like a teenager you kind of see like, oh, his mom is really still that way and
Yeah.
is like no girls allowed
Right.
staying over.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed it. I love the characters. Like I might not understand everything about the card game itself, but just like the passion and all sports, like manga or anime, I just love it. It's my favorite.
Yeah. Love it. Agreed.
Hmm.
Yeah, if you guys don't have anything else to add, then that wraps up our discussing
Yeah.
Chihayafuru, chapters 1 through 23. Definitely go and check it out if it sounds like something you're interested in. We all love it. Now, this point in the show, we usually read the description for the manga that we are reading next week, but you guys get to guess it, but we're not doing that this week. Because next week is our MangaPod luck, which we have done. This will be the third year that we have done it. What MangaPod luck is, we all bring a one shot to the table and everyone else has to read it. And then we discuss all of them on the show. So we are going to be doing that next week. We will post links to the one shot mangas that we are picking. And the reason we're not doing that now is secret.
Indeed, it is.
So yeah, I'll be looking forward checking out our Twitters for that. If you guys want, we do have an official MangaPod Twitter. Yay! At MangaPod, so you can go check it out. It'll be posted there as well. Let's go around and shout out our stuff super fast. I'm Erin of Happily Erin. I have a YouTube channel dedicated to anime and MangaPod. I am currently working on a book. I'm on my third revision. It's going swell now that I'm in a certain part. It's going good. So I'm much more active on Twitter and Instagram than I am on YouTube currently. So if you want to talk about anime, writing, Thai dramas, all sorts of fun stuff, come on and follow me over there.
Hi guys, I'm Dodger. You can find me at Dex Bonus on pretty much everything. I stream almost every single day, and that's it. And then our other lovely person who is missing is Lou. You can find him at Lou Talks Anime on pretty much everything, I think. He switched it a couple of times, but I think he's Lou Talks Anime on everything.
I think he's stuck on that now.
Yeah. And he's lovely, and I know he would appreciate you saying hey.
Yay. Hello, I'm Moika. You can find me about
Our fourth
everything.
member, in case
Yeah,
you
fourth member. Surprise.
Hi. Hey.
So I'm basically at Mega Moika about just everything. I stream, I do cosplay, I just do anime weeby stuff. I'm also aside from being a host, I am gonna try to do like the social media for MangaPod, and I'm gonna try to make everything like super easy to access for you guys. So I made like a website that is mangapod.carrd.co, and it's like what our podcast is, which you guys already know what it is, like a little snippets of our host, a contact thing, and then for people who like suggesting stuff, I put
previously
everything
read tab.
I
Yeah.
That's so smart.
God
We read
bless
so
you.
much. What the fuck?
Yeah, I went back through everything we've that's been read, and so
Oh my
if you
gosh,
ever want to
girlfriend.
suggest something, you can
Amazing.
control F
My
on
heart.
that part.
You own my heart now. Remember
So,
when we
yeah.
read All Generation Basket?
Yeah, I do remember
It
this.
was good.
So, yeah.
Yay! Thank
Yay,
you.
that's
for doing
everything.
that. Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much, Moika.
Love
No
it. So
problem.
excited to have you.
Hmm.
Part of us. One of us.
Oh no.
If you guys would like more MangaPod, we also have a subreddit. We're gonna be doing our upcoming schedule here soon for the beginning of next year. So we'll have a recommendation thread. So if you guys want to go and post there, like Moika said on the website, you can control F to see if what you're gonna suggest is already there. Then you know that we've read it. You could ask for us to read more too if it's something that you want us to read more of. We will always be reading more Tower of God, so you don't need to post that.
You don't need to tell us to read Tower of
Ever
God.
need to tell us to read
Please,
Tower of God.
for the love of the Tower of God, please don't ask us. We
Uh,
will read it.
We will. We promise. Otherwise, we hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Thank you so much for hanging out with us while we talk Chihayafuru chapters 1 through 23. We will be here same time, same place next week, talking our manga pod luck, and we'll be posting the links to those very soon. So we hope you guys have a great day. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.